Hey, Alex, it's great to see you, man. It's been a little while.
Hey, Kelly, what's up? I don't know what you're talking about. We see each other every third.
I don't know why I always fall for that one. You're right. You're right. I certainly hear your voice a lot because I like to listen to back catalog episodes. And I got to say to everyone out there, if you didn't hear the Big Mike Banana one, it was a really good one.
Banana Mike. Big Mike.
Banana Mike.
Big Mike.
Big Mike. Yeah, Gross Michelle, right?
Gross Michelle.
Gross Michelle.
I think it's Gros Michelle, actually. Well,
gross is like a size, right? It's large.
Yeah, but it's French. Gros. So I think it might be gross. Did I say gross in the episode?
You said it with kind of an accent, so you could get away with however you said it. Yeah. You kind of went.
I'm kind of known for my accent.
You really are. And I also want to give a big shout out before we get started to Michael Wright, who is a new supporter of ours on the platform Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout is where we actually upload these, and it's what distributes these out. And it costs a little bit of money every month, like $25 or something. And Michael Wright, along with a few other people, are helping to offset that cost. So thank you to Michael Wright for helping us there. If you enjoy this podcast, wouldn't hurt to be a Patreon or a Buzzsprout person. Alex, what do you think?
So many different ways. Yeah. And we have different levels of giving too. We can send you a t-shirt. We can send you a pink Cadillac.
Pink Cadillac. Yes. That's still on the table, folks.
We haven't sent that many. We've only sent 3 or 4 so far. I mean, I know it's early in the year, but we got to get those.
T-shirts or pink Cadillacs?
Remember, it was 160K, I think.
Yeah, 160, and you get a pink Cadillac. And we'll talk about you every single week like you're a super fan. But in reality, we have a real super fan. You've probably heard us reference Al from Austin on this show more than one time. Now, Al has been a bit of a stalker, and we were asking him if he would, not show up at our house at 10 p.m. and not be sending us all the illicit pictures he likes to send over text. And he said he would do it if we would let him on the show. So this is our chance to be free, Alex.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting Al from Austin finally after all these years.
So Al, really great to have you on. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, as I think you've summed it up pretty well, Al from Austin. And that's following you guys has really kind of changed my life. The models that you exude and live is what I strive for, both of you. And so listening to DNC and Dead Ends just gets me through the day and the weeks. And I feel like I feel like your family almost. But,
wow. Hashtag low bar. Right?
Yeah. There's low expectations are good,
Key to a happy life.
Absolutely.
As I've been told. So we have given Al from Austin full permission to come up with an interesting dead person to talk about. And neither Alex nor I know who that person is yet. But I was assured by Al that, first of all, it would be somebody interesting. Second of all, somebody dead. And third of all, somebody that we might know a little bit about. Alex, before Al from Austin says anything, do you have any wild guesses?
Well, I know that early on, he was requesting Bob Ross.
Yeah,
that was, I think, episode 3. He was already, and then that's when we made our rule that there's no requests.
Unless you come on and do it your own damn self.
No, you've broken that rule a few times. I think your mom suggested Satchel Paige.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And actually one of Julie is a friend of ours who suggested Mary Kay, which I thought was a great one, a great suggestion. But yeah, I'm a little more flexible. Alex is a little more of a stick to the rules kind of guy.
No, in fact, if you recommend somebody, they go to the bottom of the list.
You're so hardcore.
So we'll do Bob Ross in 10 to 20 years from now, I'm sure.
Yeah. He'll still be relevant. He'll still be a cultural
list. I've still got that list, though, Kelly, that we always.
Yeah. It exists on paper, even. God forbid it's like a spreadsheet or a Google Doc or something. It's actually a physical piece of paper. Well, Al, you've come on to enlighten us. Can you give us some clues about who you want to talk about today?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me. fellas. Very excited about this. So my very first clue is that this is not in the typical DNC wheelhouse. Alex, how do you describe the wheelhouse?
Well, it's people who are not famous enough to have a biopic about them, yet everybody knows their name and everybody knows just a surface level stuff about them.
You also say, I can quote Alex because I've heard him say it before. It's a white guy from the 20th century.
That's my lane. That's my particular lane.
Oh, okay. Because that is the lane. So I actually, in quotation marks, have 20th century white males. That as the
right. Okay, that's my lane. Though.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is not. That's the first clue. This is not in your lane.
Okay.
So this person is a woman.
Okay.
Born in Strasbourg, France in 1761.
Ooh, 1761. Madame Curie? Marie Curie?
No.
That was going to be my guess too.
Y'all, y'all are you're good though. But she was an artist and a businesswoman, and she died in London, England, in 1850.
What did she die from? Did she have her head chopped off or something like that?
She did not. I honestly think she died in her sleep, which, she died of something,
right.
But
nothing notable.
Old.
Nothing notable. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And she was an artist. And what's the other thing you said?
A businesswoman.
Businesswoman.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Was she in the world of cosmetics?
Maybe adjacent.
Or fashion?
It's a stretch.
So it wouldn't be like Estee Lauder or anybody like that, or
no.
I guess 1700s would be.
Yeah, this was a while back.
Yeah.
Do we still say her name today? Like, is it a name you still hear today?
Oh, absolutely. That's the third criteria of DNC.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just double checking. And is it a product today? Is it like a company or a product that we still use that she started?
Sort of. Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of. So. Should we just jump into it, or do you want to keep trying? Okay, I of course have come prepared to talk to you guys about Marie Grosholtz.
Okay, right over my head.
All right, so you might know her better by the name she went by later in life, and that is Madame Tussaud.
Okay.
I love a good wax museum.
Yeah, you're waxing poetic.
Waxing poetic. There you go. So
wax museums are awesome, by the way. I mean, they're not awesome. They're terrible. They're always a blight in every tourist trap city. They've ruined, like the city of San Antonio, for example,
right next to the Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yeah, I mean,
and the Rainforest Cafe.
Terrible, but I love looking at pictures of wax figures, and I think it's funny that they still exist.
Yeah. Okay. So you've read my mind, and what's funny is that my wife and I were in Vegas recently for our birthdays, and there is a Madame Tussauds there, and I thought, I wonder if, is that a real person? And I kind of started down that path.
Yeah.
And what was when I started doing some research, like where are they located? There's very few locations. And I was like, and they didn't list San Antonio. And I was like, now come on, the Alamo and House of Wax is right there. It's, what's the deal? And so I actually have this for the end of the show, but the Wax Museum in San Antonio has a similar name and a similar origin, but it's a different company. So we'll come back to that.
So there's imposters of human imposters.
You got it.
That's ironic, isn't it?
It really is. It really.
Yeah.
So she was born in France, died in England, and did she succeed with this endeavor back in the 1800s? I mean, did people respond to it back then?
Yes, very much so. So she was successful in her time. She was well known. She was famous in her time, and really very talented. And I got to tell you guys, it was a lot of fun because it's not what I expected.
Yeah.
There was a lot of layers to the onion. And so let me just say, okay, born December 1st, 1761. She was born 2 months after. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She was born 2 months after her father was killed, and her father was fighting in the 7 Years' War. And so she never knew her father, didn't have a father figure early on. And just kind of a side note, 7 Years' War. Some people think of that as the first true world war because it was, let's see, Britain and Prussia were fighting France, Austria, and Russia in all of their empires.
Yeah, probably
And
King
so
Charles was in there somewhere, right? And
probably, right? And so, in North America, we hear of or know of maybe the French and Indian War.
yeah,
Does that name ring a bell? Honestly,
Mhm.
I know it by name only. I don't know anything
Yeah.
about it. That was a campaign of the 7 Years' War. And that was the only one that was in North America, but it really was widespread.
That's how her father was killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I hope the next thing you're going to say is that she created a wax figure of her father because he was not present.
I wish that was the next thing I was going to say too. There is. I was so excited, but decided that it's just total folklore. But it's an awesome story that actually appears in her memoirs. But folks have said it's bogus. And she did say that her father was shot in the jaw, and they reconstructed his jaw out of a silver plate or tray, or I've heard it referred both ways. And supposedly her mother kept that as a keepsake, and so she was fascinated with this silver tray jaw. There's nothing that supports that. It's a great story.
I mean, that sounds like the origin story for an evil superhero, right? Like an evil villain.
Right.
I would think if it's in your memoirs, it happened, whether it really did or not. I would think also if I wrote my memoirs, 30% of it would be made up.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they say. Listen, it's all just grandiose. So, but she did. She and her mom, Anna Marie, was 6 or 7 years old. Her mother took a job as a housekeeper. And they moved, and this is like move into the house, live there full time. And they moved in with a guy named Philippe Curtius and moved to Bern, Switzerland.
Okay.
And so Curtius was a physician and an anatomist and a wax modeler.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you can see where this is going, right?
And that's not something you hear typically these days, a wax modeler, right? I mean, that's really a very niche thing.
Yes, but maybe because we have so many other alternatives. Folks were making these models. He got into this business for educational purposes. So you think about you're a doctor and you're trying to train other doctors.
Yeah. They didn't have plastic. Right. They couldn't make a plastic skeleton set, so they did it out of wax. And then those lips that you get at Halloween that go like this. I was
just going to say, I bet you
flavor.
Kelly has wax lips within arm's reach of them right
now. I haven't had wax lips in a long time, but I will say, just on a little bit of a tangent on wax candy, I like wax lips. I also like those little cola bottles that have wax, and you bite in, and it's just that sweet flavor.
I think we've talked about those before.
I don't know why those are so good. Like it's
good.
No, they're not. I would never drink that stuff by itself.
I think it's just insulin, basically, isn't it?
and they stain your teeth, and they squirt. You ever bit one and it squirts the wax out all over everything?
I bet you I have wax lips within 15 feet of me right now.
Dude, you have everything within 15 feet of me.
Everything is within 15 feet.
Well, I've got a lot of old goodie bags from birthday parties around here, so I'm sure there's wax lips.
There's wax lips, and a kazoo.
Yeah.
I would love a scavenger hunt where I had to come up with stuff within 15-foot radius of me. I bet you I would win.
Oh, 100%. I don't know. This room is pretty chock full. It's junk in here. Well, so she and her mother move in with this guy, and he's a wax. What did you say? A wax modeler?
A wax modeler.
Okay.
And so I can say a little bit about kind of the wax as an art media, and folks were they were using it for anatomy. They were using it for to create an image. We didn't have photographs. You have a painting, but a painting is really it's a two-dimensional thing. This is a three-dimensional object that can be transported. And quite frankly, it sounds to me like the function that a wax museum serves today is that you can go and see these people. You could see royalty or notorious people or whatever. But the way that Curtius started was from the education side, but he started getting more and more into the art side of it. So kind of this quantum leap from at some point during this time he transitioned from education really into art, and but his relationship with Anna Marie was very very paternal. She referred to him as uncle throughout her life, and they worked together, and he taught her the craft, and quite frankly she was really good at it. And what I understand is that because he was good at it and they were good at it, people sought them out. It is generally accepted. This is credited to him with her helping, but they did Voltaire.
Oh, wow.
And I found it online. It's actually a beautiful wax. It's more of a figurine. It's on his deathbed. It is still on display at the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, and it's really cool.
So these things last hundreds of years.
Yeah, I guess just to be preserved with proper preservation and care.
Yeah.
But it's very lifelike and really neat. Most people agree that she did a form of Benjamin Franklin, and these are. When I started into this, I thought, oh yeah, it's like a death mask where they're laying stuff on people's faces and creating mold, but it's really not. Some of it is using it to shape and create, maybe using clay to create an image and then make mold, make the mold and create it in wax.
They're doing over molds.
Yeah.
I was assuming you'd need different kinds of blowtorches to melt it into shape, and then you would like freeze it into place, or do you know technically how that's done?
No, and we would have to save that as another show, and I don't think I'm going to be asked back. But
you're doing great so far. I'm pretty interested.
Technical version of the show, actually.
Yeah. How to.
Yeah, there you go.
We take every episode and we do the how to. So listen to the Zeppelin one. Kelly gets very in depth about how Zeppelins are made and built.
That's true. Yeah,
I'm interested in the plaster caster. Can you tell me how to do that?
No. So he died in 1794, and kind of just a measure of their relationship. He left this whole collection to her.
Wow.
Now, as students of Dirt Nap City, and as the co-host, I left out a big chunk of something that happened in there between prior to 1794, and care to venture a guess, comment on that?
Was it a war or Napoleon or something?
Yeah, prior to Napoleon, it was the French Revolution.
Well, so you're doing a great job, by the way, of tying in Napoleon. You said that Benjamin Franklin had a wax figure.
Yeah, you get points for all these.
Yeah. Ding, ding. We're going to add a ding sound effect every time you mention a former episode. But I also want to point out one thing, a little known fact that I don't even think Alex knows. I snuck this in. So one of our first season or second season was Colonel Harlan Sanders.
Second
episode. The image of him in the thumbnail was actually a wax image of him. Right. This was the best thing I could find. Oh, you did know that?
Yep.
So there's that too. I mean, you're just
there. You go.
Yeah.
All right, man. The first episode was a French person. Andre the Giant.
Andre the Giant.
Yeah.
That's right.
That would take a lot of wax to make that.
So, okay, so the French Revolution and the Reign of Terror. And during this time, they're living in Paris, and they're being sought out by the elites to create these models of themselves. They become associated with the elite class, which is not necessarily a great thing.
Right.
And
off with their heads.
Off with their heads, indeed. And so during the time, they started creating molds and casts of the severed heads of the royalty and other people who were killed.
It's actually a great idea.
Collect them all.
It wasn't a business thing. It was the revolutionists came to them and said, we need you to do this so we have proof. And they would take these wax molds, on parade. They would take them to other towns. Look, here's, whoever, he's dead.
But it's a wax mold of his head, not his actual head.
It is a wax figure that looks very lifelike, but it is wax. It is not the head, but there's only one head. They could have 5 of these that they could take around to various
this
places.
was mass marketing. The first
mass
steps.
Marketing.
So I wonder when they did those, if they did it with like guts and brains and stuff hanging out of it, or did they just do the head kind of had a clean line at the bottom?
I don't know, but they did a lot of them. And so supposedly by doing this was a way to demonstrate their allegiance to the revolution.
Oh, yeah.
And to preserve their own lives. So whatever the motivation, it worked, right?
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But shortly thereafter, Tussaud dies. He leaves everything to Anna Marie. And 1795, we got another man slides right in. And this is Francois Tussaud. Well, slide right in is a great description of what happened. He saw an opportunity and, marries this woman. She's famous.
She was already famous.
She was famous from the standpoint that people were coming to her to commission art.
She was well known in the wax beheaded people scene.
Right. And in the full body. I mean, and Benjamin Franklin.
Colonel Sanders.
So Francois, there's really not a lot on him other than or their marriage, other than it was described as it was not successful. And that was something else that was in her memoirs. So not successful. They did have 3 children. They had a daughter who died either in childbirth or as an infant, but they had 2 boys who lived to be adults, and we may come back to them in a little bit. But this unsuccessful marriage. So she takes this as an opportunity. She packs up the entire collection and moves to London. And the reason this is speculation. They never divorced, but the speculation is at the time it didn't matter, property rights. Everything would have gone to Francois, and she knew that.
Oh, so she kind of amscrade in the middle of the night kind of thing. I'm taking my wax figures and going. I'm out of here.
Taking the wax figures and the oldest boy, and we're out of here. And so they started a new life in England, and they toured. They have this collection of these, some of them beautiful figurines, but they also have these really gruesome severed heads, and it was, from a brilliant marketing standpoint, sometimes these things are gifts, and the press labeled it the House of Horrors. And so that's fantastic. And so I think even today they have a section of the House of Horrors, and it's partitioned off, and it's a special thing that you maybe pay more money to, but to get into. But they move over. They kept the thing going. They toured the British Isles supposedly for 33 years. But in 1835, they actually created a permanent museum, and this is kind of cool. So and it was called Madame Tussauds, and it's been around for over 200 years.
That was in
Wow.
London?
That's in London. It was the original one was built on Baker Street, in 1835. They moved to a new location around the corner, as it was described, in 1884. That one was destroyed by fire. 1925. They rebuilt it in 28, and then in 1940 it was bombed by I don't know, they were singled out, but it was destroyed by German bombings, and they lost 325 of the molds, of the head molds.
Dang.
But it's still alive and kicking. It's now part of a company called Merlin Entertainment. They also have Legoland. They have the London Eye, the big Ferris wheel in London. And they have various other things. It's hard to. I was trying to get some financials to understand how they're doing, but it's not. They don't report for Madame Tussauds alone. It's kind of
Right. The whole company.
Yeah. So the estimate is they're doing 19 million visitors a year.
Wow.
And they
Probably
do about
$25 to get in or so.
$40 to $60 depending on. Yeah. And they're doing about 132 million a year in revenue.
Wow.
Now, what I was surprised, and this kind of goes to Alex's original comment, was there's 18 global locations. And I'm like, no way. How can there be 18? They're everywhere. Well, now comes Louis Tussaud's Waxworks. Louis, who is the great grandson of Madame Tussaud. And
so this is a rival? This is a competing...
It's a rival, and it is owned by Ripley's Entertainment.
Yeah, okay.
That's why they're always next to Ripley's.
Yeah. And that spigot of water where the thing is just up there and the water's coming down and nothing's holding it up. How do they do that?
So cool. And then you guys made the comment, or Alex did, that it's cheesy, and it absolutely is. But I did read some descriptions where Madame Tussauds is described as high quality, gold standard for wax museums.
Right, of course.
And Louis Tussaud Waxworks is more of a so bad it's good experience.
I think the thing that I reject is that it's always in a place where you don't need that, like next to the Alamo or next to Niagara Falls.
Right.
Places that you don't, but they're never destination places, right? Nobody's going to take a trip just to go to a wax museum.
Right.
But as long as they're there, you could picture a family saying, all right, well, we've spent the whole weekend and we're 2 hours in and we're done with the Alamo. What else is there to do around here?
Exactly.
Look, there's a wax museum, or you've gone to Niagara Falls, but it's still Saturday afternoon. What else is there to do around here? Oh, there's a Louis Tussaud. Now, are there any so in the 18 that there are, how many are in the U.S.?
I believe there's 5 in the U.S.
So like Vegas.
Yeah, there's Vegas, and I didn't write them down. But
probably Niagara Falls.
Oh yeah, you said it. You said it into existence.
There you go. Now,
the Arboretum, the Arboretum in Austin.
One of the things that I wanted to check was how many of the residents of Dirt Nap City appear also in Madame Tussaud.
Oh, that's
good.
Did you check?
I did, and I think it's one. It's one.
What? No way.
Because
wait, you said
they're all over at Louis'.
Wait. So if one company does one, do they own the exclusive rights to it? Like in other words, can someone else? I wonder if there's like copyright with that.
Wait a minute, no, because the person that they do doesn't even.
And I wonder, I was going to say, I wonder if you have to get permission from the person to do their wax figure.
No way.
No,
no way.
Who knows?
There's no way Queen Elizabeth would give permission, or Michael Jackson's estate, or Prince. There's no way Prince would give his permission, but they did it anyways.
So have either of you actually stepped foot inside a Madame Tussauds?
So before this, I would have said yes. But after doing my research, I'm going to say I went to a Louis.
Okay.
And have not been to a Madame Tussaud.
I thought you went to the one in Vegas.
Walked by it. We walked by it. Yeah.
Wait, I still want the answer to the question. Of all of the Dirt Nap City residents, only one was in Madame Tussauds. Can I guess?
Yeah. I've already told you.
Ben Franklin?
I think it's Benjamin Franklin. Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah.
Now, is that because those are just more, they don't add as many new ones?
I don't know. Not maybe that there are some obscurity with Dirt Nap City and they want the highest named people,
Way. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I can't imagine that there's no Napoleon or or even Bob Marley.
Yeah.
Or John Lennon.
I agree. Hey, you know what? I exercised what I felt was the standard level of research.
Due diligence.
You
looked at Wikipedia?
Oh, yeah.
What if we, hear me out, what if we start a third branch
and just call it
Dirt Nap City?
Just call it Dirt Nap City.
Yes. And then and every 2 weeks we put in a new one. That gives us 2 weeks to make these things.
Yeah, it can't be that hard.
No, I mean,
can I ask a moment though? Because I have seen photos of these things, and they are uncannily real looking, right?
Yeah.
And for her time, when there wasn't television and there wasn't movies and there wasn't those sort of things to compare it to, it must have been sort of a novelty and kind of a creepy novelty, right? To see these things that look so quick sidebar. At Jody's work, they were throwing away some mannequins, and they were children mannequins, and they were used to model children's clothes.
Yeah.
And my daughter decided that she wanted to take them to a recycling place, like an upcycling place, so they didn't get wasted. She put them in the trunk of her car and scared the crap out of me when I opened the trunk. And they're in these plastic bags, and they don't have faces or anything. They're just, but
like a Weekend at Bernie's situation.
Yeah.
Two children in plastic bags, without any features, and she ended up taking them. But I can't imagine
how they have to be in bags, though.
Well, they were dusty. That they were throwing them away at the place where my wife works. They were going to throw them away, and she said, "Oh, my daughter will take these to upcycle something or another." And so she put them in plastic bags and stuck them in her car, and then they rode around back there for 2 weeks.
I would have kept them just to get in the HOV lane.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Problem solver right there.
Yeah. Well, so a few more questions on that. I wonder, in today's technology, if they're still using the same methods to make them, or do you think they're a little bit more automated? I mean, you could almost like 3D print these things these days, right?
I would imagine that the early methods would be so cost prohibitive today.
They would take forever.
And you could just, like you said, you could do a 3D rendering or printing.
But that's not the point.
Yeah, that's right.
The point is having it done in wax. I mean,
well, I don't think that's. I don't think that Louis Tussaud really cares, about the process. They want an image that looks like Justin Bieber, and they want it quickly. And
you aren't allowed to touch it. So how are you going to know if it's wax or something else?
Oh, wait a second. You can. I think for the $60 ticket, you can touch them.
You can?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Can you take selfies with them?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure that's all you people do.
Yeah. Sadie, my daughter, has a picture actually with Justin Timberlake when she was a kid and up in New York, and it's pretty funny.
The wax museum. Wow.
I wonder if there's any way to determine like what the most popular one is, the one that gets the most traffic, the one that gets the most selfies.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that changes all the time. I'm sure it used to be Michael Jackson, and now it's Harry Styles or whatever. But
you know that either Ripley's or Merlin, they know the answer to that question. I mean, they're smart.
It's probably on the way out. Like it's probably the last one.
Yeah, I was going to say it's in the back. It's kind of like at a grocery store when they put they put all the good stuff in the back, so you have to walk past everything to get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think a wax model is heavier or lighter than the real person?
I have no idea. I'm going to say heavier.
So a wax figure of Andre the Giant might be 1,000 pounds.
Well, hang on. You know what? Because I'm going to say lighter because I'm guessing they're hollow.
Oh, you think they're hollow?
Yeah, I bet it's a shell. It's like a Cadbury bunny that's just a shell of a thing that's empty.
Well, is that what you meant by the mold? Like the mold was the shell part, or they would pour the mold, and then they would put the wax around it.
Yeah. So I did read a little bit about death masks, and I don't know. Have you guys seen a death mask at a museum or like at a, if you go to a
Is this like King Tut kind of stuff?
No, I actually saw some of it at I think it was the Vatican where they had some popes. And it was, but what they do is they clean the face and then they apply some type of oil or something. And then they put plaster over that. And the oil is to, make it so that form comes off easily. And then take it out and they clean that out really well, and then they'll pour either the wax or the plaster of Paris in there to create the image. So you have the negative that you just created, right, from the face, and then you pour it, and then you create the positive.
So then you can make as many as you want.
You can make as many as you want, and then when they make like bodies, they would, if they were applying that same approach, they would do multiple, and then they would piece them together to create. But what I was surprised about is like when I read that they had done, or she had done, Ben Franklin, I thought, wow, that's really interesting. But then I was like, but he wasn't dead, so how did this happen? Do you remember the Office episode where they're going to do a face imprint of Michael Scott in the concrete and he has like a straw or something?
So
and they actually described that that's what they would do for live people. And I thought, there's no way Franklin did that.
Well, he lived in Paris for a long time.
Yes.
I'm guessing most of these people don't have any idea that it's being
and that's the last part, is they are actually making, like out of clay, they're making the body and they're creating that, and then they do the process of putting whatever on there to create the negative and then recreate the positive. So I would imagine that was the
when you go to visit, I assume they're not just standing in a room, but they probably have like a mock-up of where they live, or
like the desk. Like you and I, Alex, would be in front of a microphone like this. I'd have dog hair all over my shirt. You'd have your Longhorns in the background, but we wouldn't be moving. That's the difference.
Right, you'd be.
I like this idea.
It really is.
Right in
if we could just get Liquid Death to sponsor us and then do this, we would be so set.
There you go.
Golden.
Well, that was amazing. That was you exceeded my expectations. I had high expectations, but Madame Tussaud, never would have thought of her, but I know who she is.
Wait, is it Trousseau or Tussaud?
Did I say Trudeau? She was grandfather to the Canadian Prime Minister.
You said
yes.
Grandmother. Tussaud.
Madame Tussaud.
But instead of sewing, she was waxing.
She was waxing poetically.
Madame Two Wax. Well, Al, thank you for being a longtime fan, and I hope this completes our contract of you no longer stalking us. If we're happy to do this once a year or so, if you'll just keep your distance.
We'll see. We'll see. No guarantees, no promises. You're going to miss me when I'm gone. You're going to miss me when I'm in DNC.
But we're gonna have a wax figure.
Oh, damn it. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to see you guys. Y'all are much smaller in person, and I just
and more handsome.
Yeah. I mean, kind of hot too. But,
all right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
In a small, bright room, hands in the heat and bloom of wax, she learned each fragile feature, every freckle, every crack. Shadows on the plaster, candles tremble as she molds. breathing life in silence into faces pale and cold. Madame Tussaud, you keep them waking, eyes of wax, a world still shaking, history, a rumor in the air you breathe. Madame Tussaud, your fingers knowing shape, the ones who kept the world from slowing, frozen stories only you could ever see. They brought her baskets heavy with the fallen and the named, crowns in bloody linen, golden hair and scarlet stained. She traced the dead in terror, royal brows and broken jaws, turned the guillotine's last gesture into portraits under glass. Madame Tussaud, you keep them waking, eyes of wax, a world still shaking, history, a rumor in the air you breathe. Madame Tussaud, your fingers knowing shape, the ones who kept the world from slowing, frozen stories only you could ever see. Now your galleries travel farther than your feet could ever run, by a battlefield remembered under beating southern sun, near the stone and old adobe where another line was drawn. Tourists file past patient figures on their way to see the Alamo at dawn. Madame Tussaud, you keep them waking, eyes of wax, a world still shaking, history, a rumor in the air you breathe. Madame Tussaud, from Paris thunder to the highways and the roadside wonder, every doorway is a door through what has been. In the hush between the flashes, in the echo after crowds have gone, your quiet army waits for morning, face by face. You can